Hello YouTube and welcome back to Jimmy Bob 25. And today we will be doing part 1 of November news for motorsports. There has been so much news, especially in supercars, that I've had to split it down the middle, and we'll be covering majority of the supercars news and a bit of Formula 1. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and enjoy the video. Intro. Okay, so first off on the list is the Supercars 2026 calendar. So it starts off on the 20th to 22nd of February at Sydney Motorsport Park for Sydney Super Night. And then we go to Melbourne for the F1 GP, Taupo in April. Well, then the New Zealand double header, because we also now have Christchurch as well. Then we go to Tasmania, and then Darwin. Then Darwin, Townsville, Perth, Ipswich. Excuse me. And then we go to the Bend for the first of the Enduros. And then we go to the big one, the 1000, at the 11th to 8th to 11th of October. And then we go on to Gold Coast, Sandown, and Adelaide to round out the year. So I forgot to put that in the last video. So Penrite and Dale Wood part ways. So I'm sure it's later on. I've actually got to rattle through this quite quickly. So on the 5th of November, Penrite announced that Dale Wood will not return for 2026. The Bend, 500 and 1000, and he has not signed a contract yet that I know of. I could be wrong about that. Jackson Evans signs a new deal with WAU the next day. And Jackson Evans will join Ryan Wood for the 2026 Enduro Cup. So in the race just prior to what I'm recording, so in Sandown, Davo brought up his 600th race in the main game. But it's a bad time for Davo because unfortunately he's not going to be on the Formula 1 Supercars grid for next year. Yeah, I will miss him. He is my favorite driver, so yeah. But Zach Bates has been promoted from the 888 wildcard to the Matt Stone Racing car team. Information. The Enduros that they had this year, which I forgot who they had at Premiere, will continue into 2026, so that is unchanged. This one's quite big. James Courtney, who was going to retire at the end of the season, which we all thought that he was going to be retired, off the grid, needing out. James Courtney will be co-driving for Team 18, capping off an amazing season for Anton. Hold on. Capping off an amazing season so far, with Anton being in the finals, being knocked out in the Gold Coast. My bad. And Reynolds coming runner-up to Matt Payne at the 1000. And this news follows the team becoming the new GM homologation team, because Triple 8's moving to Fords, and they will become the Ford homologation team. And the Craig Lowndes wildcard signing, which I don't know why Craig Lowndes decided to leave Triple 8, but whether it's just because he doesn't like the Fords or what, I don't know. Only he will know, or people around him would know. This is an interesting one. If I can, I'm gonna zoom in on it. Jamie Whincup will step down from co-driving duties for now, with an asterisk there. He said in a statement, and I do quote, "I'm not saying that Bathurst was my last race in a supercar. At this stage, I will not be driving for Red Bull Ampol Racing race car in 2026 or 2027 Enduros. And right now, I have no other plans but to continue to be a better managing director. I'm not shutting the door on driving ever again. It's not something to read into either." Sorry, Jamie. Right now, I lost where I'm at, sorry guys. Right now, I have no plans than managing director of Triple 8 Racing, and I'm looking forward to put everything onto that. So, that is something, that's for sure. It is a bit of a shock, and there is a larger shock coming here soon as well. Because Jamie is actually a good driver, believe it or not. Though some people would call him names and all that. Personally, I like him. Like before I liked DJR, I actually liked Triple 8, and that was because of Jamie Whincup. And then now that he's in the Enduros, then it's just get out of here. The 2026 grid has finally been made, with BRT Blanchard Racing re-signing Aaron Cameron. This is good, especially for Aaron Cameron. He's grown a lot throughout the year, so that is good for him. He will drive for 2026, as I said. And yeah. Garth Tander. This is arguably one of the biggest shocks to come out of all of this news that I've got, Formula One and supercars. Garth Tander officially retired from supercars driving and is now just going to be commentary. That is a shock, especially after winning 6 Bathursts. If I was him, I would have kept going for trying to get 8 or 9. Trying to beat Peter Brock. But gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. I'll talk about that one here in a minute. Chaz Mostert and Brock Feeney. We had racing over the weekend. Yay! They now carry momentum into Adelaide with a win each. Well, Will Brown and Kai Allen. I so badly want to see this young kid win the championship. Like, if he just comes out of nowhere, bang, 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 clean sweep Adelaide, 3 races, I'm dreaming, as, J-Bone's, thing is, I got, Kai Allen delusion syndrome. But no, in all seriousness, he is up there. I reckon he will be like Brock Feeney at some stage, but Brock Feeney's just been stuffed over with the finals because he got the Sprint Cup, obviously, which he just clean swept, and then Brock Feeney's just that's pretty much how it's been. The Enduros weren't real good for him. And yeah, anyway. As I was saying, if Kai Allen manages to win, he will be the youngest ever supercars driver to win a championship. That's part reason why I want him to win. But I say, like, over the weekend in one of the categories, they had a champion that didn't win any races. So honestly, I would like to see that again. Like, if Matt Payne can just go 1-1, just win, and then Kai Allen's just second. James, keep dreaming. So, the finalists are Brock Feeney, Chaz Mostert, Will Brown, and Kai Allen in championship order. And they will be fighting out for the championship trophy at Adelaide over 3 races. This is what I believe. I actually didn't do research on this. One 100k race, and then on Friday, and then 2 200k races on Saturday and Sunday. So it's the Adelaide 500, isn't it? Doesn't say. So yeah, this is interesting. Cam Waters and Matt Payne colliding. Well, context. In the second race at Sandown, so the Sunday race, Cam Waters came out of pit lane and just barely tapped Will Brown, and then he didn't redress and he got a penalty for it. Should he have done that? No. Should he have given it back? If he knew, which he didn't know, then I understand why he didn't give it back. But since, yeah, he didn't know. So the FIA dropped a 5-second penalty on it for him. That made no sense, but anyway. So yeah. And then later on, Matt Payne, he sent it up the inside of Matt Payne, and the 2 wheels must have collided and just broke the steering, and then, yeah, they both had to go into pit lane to get it fixed, so In hindsight, they should not have done it, but yeah. So, supercars can be a pain in the butt sometimes. So let me read what I got here. Cam Waters and Matt Payne colliding at turn 2 through turn 4. I forgot what lap it is. I'm sorry. Yeah. Causing them to both be dropped out of the finals. And then prior to that, Cam Waters had the slightest bit of contact with Will Brown, causing him to go off the road at turn 2. So they've published a report. What is it? There. So they've published a report. So it was race 31 of the Supercars Championship, date Sunday, 16th of November 2025. I'm recording this the 18th of November, by the way. Fact, car 1 and car 6. Oh, here we go. This was the brown one. Car 6 and car 1 collided at turn 2 on lap 39. So, the vision showed car 6 had a slight lock up, and with some opposite lock, then made contact with the rear of car 1, resulting in car 1 leaving the track and loss of position. Stewards consider the driving conduct amounts to breach the rules and impose a penalty consistent with other previous breaches of a similar nature. The competitor is reminded that the decisions or penalties that may be subject to appeal as set out in B7.72 and the rights to and process for an appeal is set out in B5. So, yeah, it was like the slightest bit of contact. I doubt Will Brown was going off anyway. He was on cold tires on in a drying track. So, he probably would have gone off anyway. I don't think it was making the apex anyway. I'm a bit time critical for this video, but we'll see how much I can get through of this. So, Oscar crashing out of the sprint race in Brazil alongside Franco Colapinto and I believe it was Nico Hulkenberg. They just got the curb at turn 3, was it? And then just got sent straight into the wall. And then, speaking about crashes, Gabriel Bortoleto crashing out of the Brazil sprint race on the last lap with a huge crash. Editor, put it there, please. So, yeah. Then, as if it wasn't already a shock, Max Verstappen out of Q1 in Brazil and started P16. He managed to build his way back up to third throughout the whole race, which was good. With Lando Norris winning the Brazil Grand Prix. But yeah. And then the penalty system, the stewards are an idiot for this one. Hear me out. Oscar Piastri crashing into Charles and Kimi after the safety car restart, causing Charles to retire and Oscar to get an unfair penalty. Brackets. Kimi gave no space to Oscar. Oscar locked up, sending Kimi straight into Charles when Kimi could have left more space between him and Oscar. Granted, there wasn't much space. I I made a mistake there. There was like a country mile of space, but that Charles was giving him. And even Oscar tried to back out of it, but no, didn't really want to work. So he was following Lando Norris's line, which, yeah, that's what happens when you follow Lando Norris. You crash into the other McLaren. In the stewards report, they said that it was because Oscar wasn't alongside, but he tried backing out. Like, he had full control over his car even when he did lock up. So, FIA, build a light bulb in your head. And that's not just coming from a Oscar fan either, which I am. That's coming from someone that thinks that Kimi should have gotten the penalty. Like, he could have given way more space than what he did. And then, unfortunately, Bortolotto crashing out of the first lap of the GP, which brought out the safety car, which brought out incidents. So, it was a real shame for him that he did crash out. You do have got to feel sorry. I believe he had contact with Lance Stroll, of all people. And, yeah, there was just nothing he can do. But yeah, there's nothing that happened in New Zealand that I can tell. And then other motorsports news, I don't know. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to end the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all this good stuff. I'll have a November, December one coming out in December sometime. When I actually have more time. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed the video. There was a lot of news, but somehow I managed to get through it all. And we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.